Tonight, President Trump one-on-one, the ABC News exclusive, his 2020 message. George asking him what his pitch is to voters on the fence and if he fears the growing calls from some Democrats for impeachment. Inside a tense showdown with police, officers drawing their guns on two parents with toddlers, the mother pregnant, the eyewitness video, and the alleged crime that began the confrontation. Also tonight, the political aide possibly connected to a killing. A state legislator found dead inside her home, her campaign staffer arrested. What we're just learning. Amanda Knox back in Italy, speaking out in tears, saying, "I am not a monster." Why the former grad student is back in that country where she was accused of murder. Plus, rising from the ashes, Notre Dame's first mass since the beloved landmark burned. The archbishop and priests in hard hats. Emergency at sea, the husband and wife airlifted off a cruise ship miles from the shore. And the paraglider, his motor braking 150 feet in the air. No choice but to jump. The fall nearly killing him. But what happened afterward, the bone-breaking romance he never saw coming.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I'm Tom Yamas. And we begin tonight with the president's new comments from that ABC News exclusive interview. President Trump going one-on-one with our George Stephanopoulos, offering 30 hours of extraordinary access. No question off limits. Tonight, the president revealing his message to voters on the fence on whether to support him or not. Plus, what he's now saying about impeachment. ABC's Rachel Scott reporting from the White House, starting us off.
Tonight, a look into President Trump's playbook on how to win re-election. In an exclusive interview with ABC's George Stephanopoulos, the president making his case.
What's your pitch to the swing voter on the fence? Safety, security, great economy. Frankly, I think we're going to do tremendously now with African Americans, with Asians, with Hispanics, because they have the lowest unemployment numbers they've ever had in the history of the country.
So that's the pitch?
No, I have no pitch. You know what I have? The economy is phenomenal. We've rebuilt our military. We're taking care of our vets. We're doing the best job that anybody's done, probably as a first-term president. I think I've done more than any other first-term president ever.
The president appearing confident ahead of the 2020 election. But this answer about accepting information on his eventual opponent from a foreign entity, outraging even some of his closest allies.
Do you want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it. If I thought there was something wrong, I'd go maybe to the FBI. If I thought there was something wrong.
Later telling Fox News he would still take a look and report it.
But of course you give it to the FBI or report it to the Attorney General or somebody like that. But of course you do that. You couldn't have that happen with our country.
But his initial response intensifying the pressure on House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who has said impeachment is not off the table.
What we want to do is have a methodical approach to the path that we are on, and this will be included in that. But not any one issue is going to trigger, oh, now we'll go do this.
The president telling George he is not concerned.
You're not worried about what happens in Congress?
Look, the Republicans in the Senate, every single one of them that I see know this is a witch hunt. They get it 100%. And that's what matters. The Democrats are going to do it only because they might think it helps them. I think it actually hurts them in the election.
All right, Rachel Scott joins us now from the White House. And Rachel, the president telling George there about his message to voters and formally announcing his re-election bid next week.
Tom, 4 years ago, President Trump launched his campaign coming down that escalator at Trump Tower. This time around, he'll head to the battleground state of Florida, where he'll hold a campaign rally next week. And as for the Democrats, the lineup has been set. They'll head to the debate stage for the first time the following week. Tom?
Rachel Scott for us tonight, filing her first report for World News. Rachel, welcome. And a programming note, much more of George's exclusive with President Trump tomorrow morning on This Week. Plus, be sure to tune in to see the primetime special, President Trump, 30 Hours, right here on ABC tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Next to the tense confrontation between Phoenix police and a young family. Parents and their two daughters, 1 and 4 years old, held at gunpoint. Major differences emerging between the police report and the video captured by witnesses. So what started this confrontation? Here's ABC's Zachary Quiche with more.
Get out the car! You're watching cops in Phoenix threaten Aisha Harper, a 24-year-old pregnant woman with her 2 young children by her side. Police later stated in their report that they feared she was reaching for a weapon. This incident unfolding after police received a report of a stolen doll from a nearby dollar store. The video starts after the family pulls up at their babysitters and are approached by police with guns drawn. Harper's partner, 22-year-old Drayvon Ames, is also threatened and issued a stern warning. Pulled from his car, he spreads his legs and then is kicked by the cop.
When I tell you to do something, you do it.
Then, when his fiancée refuses to put the children down, the officers only get more upset.
When I tell you to
Hey! Whoa, sir, come down! Later, Harper gives her baby to a complete stranger. These videos were obtained by the family's pastor and shot by witnesses that did not want to be identified. In a police report, officers say the family acknowledged that their 4-year-old may have taken a toy, but police assert that the couple also may have taken other items and were combative. However, neither parent was formally charged. Tonight, the family has filed a formal notice of their intent to bring a $10 million suit against the city. They say the officers' actions violated their civil rights. Tom, the police department says that they take all allegations seriously and that the matter is currently being investigated. Tom?
Zachary Keach for us tonight. Zachary, thank you. Now to the homicide case raising many questions tonight in Arkansas. A former state senator found dead in her home. Authorities announcing an arrest. Someone who worked on her campaign. Here's ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
Police in Arkansas investigating the shooting death of a former state senator, making a shocking arrest, taking her former campaign staffer into custody. 11 days after Linda Collins Smith's body was found wrapped in a blanket at her home, police arresting Rebecca Lynn O'Donnell. Her Facebook profile photo reportedly updated just days earlier to this smiling image of the two of them together. Police for now are not commenting about what may have led to the shooting, saying charges against O'Donnell are still pending.
The investigation is presently at a critical juncture, and no further information will be released at this time.
Collins Smith is being remembered as a tough, longtime lawmaker.
She was courageous. She was undaunted. I mean, a lot of the behind-the-scenes things in politics that was so bad and, quite frankly, brutal, she would keep fighting.
Before her funeral today, her family releasing a statement on O'Donnell's arrest saying, "We are sickened and upset that someone so close to Linda would be involved in such a terrible, heartless crime."
And police haven't said when charges may be filed, but the sheriff tells reporters there O'Donnell is expected in court on Monday. Tom?
Marcy Gonzalez with that mystery out of Arkansas tonight. Marcy, thank you. Next, Amanda Knox back in Italy. The former American exchange student accused of murdering her roommate, acquitted by Italy's highest court, now back in that country for the first time in years, speaking out on a panel critical of the media, saying, "I am not a monster." Here's ABC's Julia McFarlane.
Amanda Knox returning to Italy and a media scrum 4 years after being acquitted in the murder of her roommate. The unrelenting journalists, the focus of some of her scorn when she spoke tonight, tearfully telling an audience in flawless Italian, quote, "I am not a monster." Knox speaking at a conference in Modena on those who've been falsely accused.
While I was jailed, I was not innocent until proven guilty on the international stage. I was sly, psychopathic, dirty.
In 2007, Knox was found guilty, along with her then-boyfriend and a third man, of the murder of British student Meredith Kircher. She went on to point out the nickname she was branded with, one of the few times she broke from Italian. However, Knox does still believe journalists need to hold the powerful accountable. Knox telling the audience she knew not everyone believed in her innocence. The family of Meredith Kircher criticizing Knox's event, saying it was painful and inappropriate. Tom?
Julia McFarlane for us tonight. Julia, thank you. We head now to the growing tensions with Iran. That vessel attacked in the Gulf of Oman, 23 Russian and Filipino crew members rescued from that burning ship, landing in Dubai tonight. The U.S. trying to build international consensus against Iran for the incident, with some allies still not convinced. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, the sailors from one of those attacked oil tankers are now out of Iran after being there for 2 days, as questions and accusations swirl about who tried to disable their ship. U.S. Central Command releasing this surveillance video, claiming it shows an Iranian Revolutionary Guard patrol boat recovering an unexploded mine from the right side of the ship, about 9 hours after one of the tankers goes up in flames. President Trump, who wants to renegotiate the Iran nuclear deal after pulling the U.S. out of it, insists Iran is behind the attacks.
It's probably got essentially Iran written all over it.
The acting Secretary of Defense says the focus now is to, quote, build international consensus. While allies like the United Kingdom are backing the U.S. assessment, others like Germany say they need more proof. This as Iran continues to deny any involvement, accusing the U.S. of sabotage diplomacy. Iran's president tonight announced that his nation will continue scaling back from the nuclear deal unless other countries who have signed on show positive signals. But he gave no details on what actions they might take. Tom.
Stephanie Ramos with those new developments tonight. Stephanie, thank you. Next to the dangerous weather threatening millions this Father's Day weekend, with storms sweeping across Texas through the Great Lakes, ABC senior meteorologist Rob Marciano joining me now with the forecast. And Rob, you were just telling me right now there's a tornado watch?
Yeah, with 3 areas of action, including that tornado watch, Tom. It includes Indianapolis. There you see it until 10 o'clock tonight. Also a flood watch, Chicago, Cleveland, you're getting some rain. Des Moines, much of Iowa, a severe thunderstorm watch in the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma as well. Tomorrow, everything kind of sags to the south. Dallas, you're in the severe storm threat. Then heavy rain across the same areas across the Ohio River Valley, and the rain's getting into the New York area by the end of the day for Father's Day. But the heaviest rains will stretch from Ohio through Indiana and back through Oklahoma City, where the rivers are still swollen, Tom.
All right, Rob, thank you. Next, your money and the growing trend for shoppers, the generation renting everything. ABC's Ariel Reshef is out to save your money.
This is the apartment that I rent in Brooklyn.
Like many millennials, Alyssa Weinzimmer is not just renting her home, she's also renting the couch she's sitting on. She says she uses Feather, a subscription rental company that lets you try out furniture for a monthly fee. If you like it, you can buy it. Alyssa's sofa, $156 a month. Her bed frame, $25.
This desk chair, which is $9 a month on the 6-month plan.
Rental companies offering choice without commitment, allowing customers to change it up with the click of a button.
You can have all the new stuff, all the hottest stuff, but you didn't have to make a significant investment.
Welcome to my home in downtown Los Angeles.
Mickey Reynolds said she may consider buying some of her home decor down the road. But for now, she rents all of this for $71 a month through Furnish. The company offers 3 to 12-month subscription plans.
I also use Rent the Runway.
If she purchased these items, Mickey says it would cost her $675, but she pays $159 a month and can swap out her outfits anytime she wants. Rent the Runway telling us their subscription service is growing 160% year over year.
People have the ability and the freedom to go ahead and rent their clothing, furniture, homes, even household appliances. Now retailers have to rethink their entire business models.
And for now, those 2 furniture subscription services are only available in select cities, but experts say if this renting trend continues, Tom, we're going to see a lot more rental programs popping up across the country.
Can you rent ties?
I bet you can.
I'm going to look into it. All right, Ariel, thank you. And time now for our index and frightening moments at one of America's largest airports. A flight carrying 166 people skidding off the runway at Newark International. That plane veering off the pavement into the grass as it flew in from Denver. The plane had multiple flat tires. All flights temporarily grounded. No serious injuries reported. And a daring rescue at sea off Cape Hatteras. 100 miles offshore, the Coast Guard racing to pull a 55-year-old man and his wife from a cruise ship after he had reportedly been suffering from abdominal pain. That Coast Guard medevac team rushing to help, hoisting those two safely inside the helicopter. They were taken to a nearby hospital. An allergy attack near Nashville, Tennessee nearly cost a man his life. That driver losing control, you see it here, in a fit of sneezes. His SUV slammed and flipped over, spinning on the road. That driver trapped inside. Good Samaritans rushed in to help, together pushing that car upright before it burst into flames. Incredibly, that driver escaped with just a bruise. And in Florida City, airmail on a whole new level. Take a look at this. A postal worker caught on this doorbell camera chucking packages over the fence hard. There it go. You heard her. Surveillance shows her doing it more than once, even damaging one of those packages. The Postal Service apologizing to that homeowner who says he doesn't want that worker to be fired. He just wants his mail delivered with more care. Finally tonight, falling in love. When you promise to care in sickness and in health, you never expect it to all start in intensive care.
Damian Leroy likes to live life on the edge. And 3 years ago on this Florida beach, he took off on his powered paraglider, not knowing this trip would change his life in so many ways. Minutes after takeoff, the engine on his paraglider failed, tangling him. Damian spinning out of control.
He's gonna jump.
150 feet in the air, Damian had no choice but to jump. All of it captured on his GoPro cam.
There was just a feeling that just said, there's a super soft bush right there and you should jump.
Damian was rushed to the hospital with multiple broken bones and a punctured lung. He spent the next 6 days in the hospital in the care of trauma nurse Alexandria Hoover.
I saw this beautiful blue-eyed girl come in and I was just like, wow.
Damian had fallen out of the sky, but had he also just fallen in love? The two would stay in touch, texting, and eventually meeting back up. Damian wondering if that spark in the ER was love or just a concussion.
She's one of the nicest people I've ever met other than my mom for sure, so that was special.
They spent the next 2 years dating, Damian teaching her his love of high-flying sports. And then he had a wild idea, one gnarly stunt he had never considered until now, a marriage proposal. So with the help of St. Mary's Hospital, he put his surprise plan into action.
What the?
That's Damian under the sheets, playing patient one more time in the room they first met.
I froze. I didn't even know what to do. I was shocked.
I love you dearly and I want to ask you, Alexander Hoover, will you marry me?
Oh my God. What's
I think she said yes. I think so.
And Damian, so in love, he says he would go through that wicked wipeout all over again just to meet Alexandria.
There's no question I was given a second chance in life, and there's no question that it brought me to her.
And we thank Alexandria and Damian for sharing their story. We thank you for watching. I'm Tom Yamas in New York. I'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Good night.